now we're going to Senator McKenzie.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've got some industry assistance questions to ask with hopefully just some quick statistics given time, and I know Senator Colbeck's got a lot of questions. What value of assistance measured as a percentage of industry output has been provided by the federal government to motor vehicles and parts manufacturing sector?
The Productivity Commission Trade and Investment Review annual review publishes the so-called effective rate of assistance data. So currently the effective rate of assistance, which is the assistance as a percentage of value added, is 8.5% for the automotive industry, compared with, back in the mid-80s, 150%. So there's been a decline in the effective rate of protection as the tariffs and quotas have been taken down, and to some. Yep.
Thank you. A similar figure for the federal government's assistance to the textile, clothing and footwear manufacturing sector?
The figures are quite similar, Minister, but I don't have them to hand. I might be able to give you the...
That's fine. I'm happy to take that on notice today, hopefully. That won't be far away. What about the assistance measured as a percentage of industry output that the federal government has provided to the wood and paper products manufacturing industry?
Again, would have to just check, because we use this stuff on the Productivity Commission.
Yep.
It's published in the Trade and Assistance.
My understanding is it's 4.7%. Would you like to clarify?
Yeah,
just check that.
Yep.
And similarly, metal products manufacturing, the federal government assistance, using the Productivity Commission's figures, and please correct me if I'm wrong, 4.3%. Is
they sound about
figures.
right, because they're predominantly tariff-based.
Great. I'm wondering what value of assistance measured as a percentage of industry output has been provided by the federal government to the agricultural sector?
Again, the Productivity Commission publishes those numbers. I would point out that in these comparisons, the Productivity Commission's measures don't always include everything. They include the tariffs and quotas and those sorts of things, and nominated budget.
Do we have tariffs on our agricultural products?
Yeah. So a number of them have still got 5%. The 5% basic tariff is still there for many things. Yeah. But then there's a sort of a debate, might be the argument. Things like diesel fuel rebates. For the banking sector, the value of the government guarantee on banking, the value of the government's requirements for compulsory superannuation for the superannuation industry. Those things aren't counted in the Productivity Commission's measure.
But you're happy with how the other industry sectors are measured as well?
The PC is the official measure of effective...
So why don't we stick with the PC figures then? In terms of industry assistance, what did the federal government's response in May 2011 for the Heinz relocation of Golden Circle beetroot production from Brisbane to New Zealand with the loss of 150 jobs? What assistance was offered at the time?
I'd have to take that on notice.
Thank you. That's fine.
Senator Ryan's squirming if he thinks the Nationals...
Gourmet Food Holdings. Thank you, Senator. Rosella entered into voluntary administration in December 2012. What government assistance was offered when it shut with the loss of 70 jobs this year? Do you want to take that one on notice too?
I would have to.
Okay. Windsor Farm, a business that fed Australian and US troops in World War II, went into voluntary administration in March and dismissed 70 workers. Could you also take on notice the government assistance that was provided to that company? Similarly, Mondello Farms, which employs 140 people in the potato processing industry, has called in the receivers in March. I'm wondering what the government's assistance is to save those jobs. You can take that one on notice too, Mr Lawson, that's fine. Last month, SP Exports, once Australia's largest tomato grower, folded with the loss of 50 jobs. I would like to know what incentives the government offered to stop that failure. Federal government's assistance to Grain Products Australia and the 46 jobs lost there, the 64 jobs lost last year from Murray Goldman's milk drying operation in Rochester, and the 146 jobs lost in Gilgary and 38 in Wagga with the closure of Golden Circle. And this brings me to my point, Mr Lawson, because I am really, really keen to know what government industry assistance is going to be available to another iconic Australian brand, SPC Ardmona, and the 870 employees in Shepparton, in addition to the 160 plus growers that support that iconic Australian business.
It will be a matter for government, Senator.
There's nothing that you're not in, the department isn't in discussions with government? There's been no communications from government to the department around this particular issue?
We discussed the economic circumstances around a number of industry developments, including the ones that you're referring to, and we would advise government on them all the time. I can inform you that there have been some discussions around one of the programs that the department administers in SPC Ardmona, I believe. So.
Yes, we have been in discussions with SPC around their eligibility for a number of the Oz industry programs.
Yep.
Senator, I can also advise you, I understand Minister Combay met with representatives of both SPC and the 8MW yesterday to discuss their issues.
And are you able to advise us of the outcome of that meeting?
No, I'm not. I will take it on notice.
Thank you, appreciate it. No idea around the timeliness, given that the company wrote to the Prime Minister over a month ago, and it is quite time sensitive, as you would appreciate.
Look, I certainly do, and I think the fact that the Minister did meet with the representatives yesterday shows that we are obviously in a position to progress things, but I'm not able to give you any detail today.
Was this in specific reference to the application for emergency safeguard measures?
I'm not aware of that specifically. As I said, I'll take it on notice, but I think in the context I would reasonably expect so, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.